What's good? How y'all doing this evening? Welcome back to another episode of Rivalry Week here on For Everybody Love Atlanta Sports Podcast. It's your boy the Don here with my co-host Tyrone. What's good, man?
What's good, y'all? What's good? How's everybody doing tonight? We get the Gamecocks this week, which I said last night was going to be a blowout, but I want to hear Rob's opinion on that.
Well, we got Rob back on the show. In case you guys didn't watch the show a couple of weeks ago, he covered Clemson, and Clemson they took that L, and
You did.
now he's going to be covering the Gamecocks, which everybody is predicting that the Gamecocks is going to lose this game. So what's good, Rob?
What's going on, man? This is I think it's my 18th year covering both South Carolina and Clemson. So this is the biggest line that I've seen for a conference game with South Carolina being such a huge underdog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, isn't like a 30-point favorite now or something?
It opened up at 32. Now I think it's at 30 and a half.
Yeah, I saw
Las
it.
Vegas has no faith in them for that,
Well, I mean, when your coach literally the first coach since 70 something, they go 2-0. So I mean, I can see why people feel that way.
I mean that just says, maybe you end up playing Georgia a lot in your first or second game of the season after a warm-up game, and Georgia owns the advantage over South Carolina. So, that I mean I think it was Rex Enright was the coach that started at 2-0, but I mean Shane Beamer's done all the right stuff, but he said in his press conference this week that this is the most talented Georgia team in Georgia history. And that was the exact words that came out of his mouth, that he thinks this is the most talented team in Georgia history, including the 2017 team that he was the special teams coach for that went to the national championship game. So he thinks this team is better than that team. And he's entitled to his opinion. I think that this team's defense has the potential to be better, but I'm not sure on the offensive side of the ball that holds water. But Shane Beamer has a lot of respect for what Georgia is doing right now, especially with the talent that they have on that roster.
Yeah. As the Georgia, I mean, 2017 was special, but mind you, it wasn't a lot of injuries. Offensively, we've been killed injury wise. Defensively, I think Kirby Smart will always make the defense look amazing. And these guys now, most of these guys are in their juniors and senior years, and you got some transfers. So I mean, these guys have grown up like in this Georgia blood system. So I mean, off defensively, I would say this is the most talented. I mean, last year's secondary was literally amazing. So I mean, it's hard to say completely that's the most talented. But I think that the front seven right now might be the most talented front seven we've had in a while. Even last year, I mean, Ozolari literally just got a sack. I was watching the game; he literally just got a sack. So I mean, you see it a lot. But I mean, offensively, if we had all our weapons, I could say we would probably be the scariest team in college football because of what our defenses showed. And then if we had Pickens, and Pickens might come back, I don't know. He's already running again. So,
I interviewed Chip Towers from the AJC today on my show, and he said that Pickens will probably never suit up for Georgia again. So,
which is painful because that was that injury came out in March. It was like, geez,
but you guys have other injuries that Georgia does as far as with Arik Gilbert and all those guys that not really injuries. That Gilbert is a young man that I think is I question his ability to want to be on the field. I mean, he was at LSU and left that program, said he's going to Florida and didn't even enroll in classes.
Nope.
And then went from there. So there's that. I mean, it's It's interesting though when you step back and look at it that the players that aren't playing for Georgia. I mean, it's almost like an all SEC team with at some of those positions. So
Yeah,
you got to give Kirby Smart credit for that as far as building a solid roster. And there are things that you can look at him and think, all right, maybe he should have done a better job as far as developing quarterbacks. Maybe there should be uh, a second half adjustments or something that he takes a lot of heat for. But as far as building a roster, he's got that down pat. So you can't really argue with that.
yeah. The only thing with Gilbert, Terrence Edwards, who's his trainer and his mentor, he said that we just need his prayers. I don't. For and Gilbert is that he came here. Everybody was like, oh well, you get the one of the best tight end / receivers and this and that. Everybody was like, okay, yeah, but you had to look at what he did at Florida, where he's supposed to go to Florida and then
at LSU, or I'm
Yeah.
sorry, what am I missing?
I'm saying when he was supposed to transfer to Florida and he didn't even show up, didn't even enroll in classes, and you were just like, well, hopefully when he gets to Georgia, he'll round out and everything will be good. And then he gets here and we get into camp, and then you get Kirby to come on the podium and say he's not even at camp, and it was like,
Yeah, the only thing that I can say for that is that hopefully, there was talk that he was dealing with some personal issues, and hopefully he'll be able to iron those out. I mean, that's all that you can say with something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, 'cause we don't really know what's going on, and like I don't. And the way that I deal with things like that on my show is that if I don't know what's going on with you on an injury front, I'm not really going to comment on it because, there I could just be assuming things, and that may not be what's wrong with you. But whatever comes out from the coaching staff, they said that he had a medical issue or personal issue is the term that they used, and we don't know what that is. It could be anything. So I just, from the pattern though of the way that he left LSU, the way that he didn't enroll in classes at Florida, and then basically didn't show up at camp for Georgia, it makes me wonder, does he really want to be on the field right now? Or does he want to focus on the stuff that's off the field? So,
you just don't know. I mean, he does have a kid, so you don't know if it's something with his kid or something to that effect, where it's something dealing with that, or you just don't know. You don't want to assume because it can be something. It can be something way serious that we don't know. But let's get into South Carolina a little bit. 2-0 start. You played some, like you said, you played some, warm up games, and you come in the SEC competition to the number 2 team in the country. So, if you're South Carolina in your eyes, what do you have to do, to be almost upset, probably one of the biggest upsets ever in Georgia history?
Well, the last time South Carolina came to Athens, they won.
Yeah.
And I know that's a thorn in the side for Georgia down there. Probably one of the worst losses in the Kirby Smart era. I can't think of a more embarrassing loss. You're a 23-point favorite at home and lose. That is that's just a tough loss. But I bring that up because the reason the Gamecocks won that game is the secondary that they had. Israel Mukwamu picked off a couple of passes, returned one for a touchdown, and you also had J.C. Horn on the other side as the other defensive back. That he was their island guy. They were throwing away from him because they were afraid of what he was going to do, and Mukwamu ended up burning them. And J.C. Horn ended up being the first defensive player picked in the NFL draft with the Carolina Panthers. And if you're following them, and I know you're Falcons fans, get to know J.C. Horn because he is rock solid, a great player. I think he's going to make the all-rookie team in the NFL this year. But that's how they did it. I think that, and I never was a Jake Fromm guy, and it looked like Fromm was, he had one of his worst games, and Georgia didn't really run the ball well that game. But for this to happen this year, the Gamecocks don't have that secondary. So if you're going to ask me how can South Carolina win, well, it's going to take a lot. I think they're going to need probably 4 takeaways at least, which, getting those is hard. And
Yeah.
on those 4 takeaways, not just getting them, but converting them to points, which is saying a lot because no one's done that to Georgia. Now, on the other hand, if you're looking at it from an optimistic perspective as a South Carolina fan, no one really knows who's going to start at quarterback for Georgia. Is it going? It's not. I don't think it's going to be Daniels. There's talk that Stetson Bennett is hurt. I don't know how much confidence they've got in the other 2 guys, and Carson Beck and the other young man that are highly touted. But when it comes down to it, you've got essentially your 4th string guy is the guy that ended up filling in for the starter, which from the outside looking in, that just looks kind of strange. But South Carolina is going to have to, I think, get 4 turnovers, and I think that South Carolina does have some great running backs. The SEC's leading returning rusher is Kevin Harris. He won the rushing title last season for the conference, and he's still back there. LaCondre Wright is a guy that led the Gamecocks in rushing in their first game against Eastern Illinois. And then you've got the other young man, Marshawn Lloyd, who was a highly touted running back coming out of high school. He's still getting his feet wet. But then they go with Juju McDowell, who they fed him the ball in the 4th quarter, and all of a sudden the ball started the offense started moving when that young man got the ball, and that's what ended up winning them the game against East Carolina. So depth is not a problem at tailback. Now at quarterback, we don't know who they're going to start either. Are they going to go with the guy that was eating pork rinds and drinking Mountain Dew with the coaches 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, or are they going to go with Luke Doty? We don't know how well his foot is.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, it's kind of a landslide down as far as the quarterbacks go. But for South Carolina, the quarterback's going to have to be efficient, and they're going to have to get the 4 turnovers, I think, in my opinion, and run the ball and be able to keep that Georgia offense off the field. That's the way that South Carolina can win. But that is far-fetched, to say the least.
Yeah. I was going to say, I was like, the thing about that is that we've seen this Georgia team these last 2 games. We played Clemson. It was a grinder game, but I think we still had time of possession. And then you get into you get into UAB, and we just throw the ball down the field like it was easy. So I mean, for us, it just takes what you have to do. I think the only thing we bring Kearis Jackson back hopefully this week or next week. So if we get
Right.
Kearis Jackson back this week, I think it's going to be a different game. I think really and truly for this Georgia team, what we need to do is, if it's not really hard, it's just hold the ball. Like, you have Brock Bowers, you have, you don't need to throw these deep balls like how we did versus UAB. Let's be honest. It's still an SEC school. It can still be an upset unless Kirby decides he just wants to go all out and just, balls to the wall, throw the ball every play, and, just do what he has to do. But I will say, with Carson Beck, who was supposed to be our 2, and I think we only started Stinson last week, and I think that was a Kirby
Right.
smart move just to do it. I mean, he's the oldest guy on the team and all of that. So I think what you have to realize, and not realize, but I think Carson Beck, if he has to start this week, he will be in a good spot. I think everybody on that team has said he's the best pure passer on the team. So
Right.
I mean, that's the only thing. But I want to see Brock. I think
Yeah.
most Georgia fans want to see Brock.
I hate to do this to you guys, but my wife is really sick over here, and I've got to go and take care of her. But I think that the matchup will go towards the Bulldogs, and I think that South Carolina's offense will get pushed around, and I look for Georgia to cover those 32 points. But I have to leave you because she's over here really sick, so I'm
Okay.
sorry about that. But I appreciate you guys having me on. Thank you so much.
We understand, man, and take care, man. I hope everything be fine. But But
Yeah.
yeah, just go ahead and take care of your business, man.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys later.
You
No
will.
problem.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
go ahead and finish up real quick. What you got to say? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, I was just saying that it don't matter what you do with if you go with UGA. First off, Carson, we play y'all in October, so JT and Stinson will probably be back by then. But I think JT might be back this week because he was dressed. I think it was just a game where you don't want to play. Like if you look, if I look at UGA's schedule, I'm not playing JT till I feel like I need JT, and that'd be Auburn. I don't think you need JT versus Arkansas. So that's three games where I mean, we go South Carolina, Vanderbilt, then Arkansas, and then we play Auburn. So yeah, I don't know. So I don't I mean what do I mean. That's the only thing I have for that is that it doesn't matter who really bet truly at who's at quarterback. So I mean, in this year, the defense might carry us to a lot of wins. I mean, they carried us to the Clemson, and then they made you only time UAB scored was on a pick six. Um, so yeah, I don't think I don't think there's a team right now in the country with a better defense than Georgia. Hands down, I don't think there's a team better than Georgia on defense. Um, I don't know. I think that's it I have for that game. I mean, South Carolina might score some points, but I don't think they get a touchdown. I don't think South Carolina scores a touchdown this game. Um, that's it. I think that's all I have on that game.
All
Um,
right, and my prediction, I think Georgia's gonna win South Carolina over South Carolina. I'm gonna say it's gonna be 28 to 20. That's what I'm.
we're a 30-point favorite. I'll give my prediction. We're a 30-point favorite. I think, like Rob said, I think we cover. I think we're a 30 and a half favorite. If it's not, I think it'll go like 28. I think it'll be like a 28-point game. I don't think South Carolina has enough anything to compete with this Georgia team. So I think we cover. If we go over, it'd be ridiculous, but I think we cover it enough. I don't think we go over.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get into these other games we have this week. Georgia Southern plays at Arkansas. They are 1-1 on the season, so I wouldn't be surprised if they go 1-2. Um, Georgia State is playing Charlotte, who beat Duke. They're 0-2, so I would hope. I think they would get the win, but you never know. Kennesaw State is playing at Wofford at 6 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Most of these games can be on either ESPN Plus, or Georgia Southern's on the SEC network. And then Georgia Tech is playing at Clemson at 3:30 on ABC. So that's the main games. You get to Valdosta. They're at Albany State, and they'll be on Flow Football. It's a website. I don't know exactly. Then Morehouse plays Miles College at 2. University of West Georgia plays Delta State at 6, and Clark Atlanta plays Shorter at noon. With everybody, Georgia State's on to, like I said, Kennesaw is 1-1. Valdosta is 2-0. Morehouse is 0-2. West Georgia is 2-0, and then Clark Atlanta is 1-1.
Yeah. Up. Hey, we getting into week 3, so
Yeah,
it's about to get interesting. So
we get into conference play for
yeah,
a lot of conferences. So we'll get to see who really is the cream of the crop. Um, and somebody's gonna fold this week. It's gonna be a lot of teams that'll probably fold in conference play. I wouldn't be surprised. Like you play some easy teams, you get off. I'm not gonna lie. I think Oklahoma. Y'all gonna call me crazy. Oklahoma's gonna win the
there
conference.
is
They're gonna
there
lose.
there is a chance on another kid, and I don't. As far as Michigan beating Ohio State, I just got to wait and see. I'm not gonna get hype over one game that we beat Washington. Wow, we beat Washington. They was unranked. You supposed to be the unranked team. So
Yeah, and Washington had just literally lost to Montana, so You can't. I think we're gonna. Yeah, I think we score. I think we get up to 30.
Yeah,
If
I
we hit
don't, bro.
40,
You're not scoring that many points. I look. I respect the hell out of Georgia, but I also respect South Carolina's defense, and they gonna try to keep y'all. They gonna keep y'all out of the end zone, but y'all gonna still score. Y'all still gonna score, but y'all not finna. Y'all ain't finna hang up more than 30 points on them. I don't see it. I just don't see it. South Carolina still got a good defense.
yeah. I mean, it just had. We had to see. Oh, shout out! We got CJ Madden from Georgia. Um, he's coming. He just got recruited. He just committed to Georgia. So yeah, you did, Wallace. I just didn't believe. I didn't think they was gonna push Oregon that high, but they did
Man,
push them to 4.
I'm glad, and Ohio State should be ranked lower in my opinion. But
I think
hey,
they're at
it
where
is
is
what it
Ohio
is.
State at 7 now or something like
Yeah,
that.
they gonna creep
Yeah.
back in it. They gonna creep back in it. They gonna creep back in it. But
If Oregon loses a game, I think Pac-12 doesn't make it into the Final Four. And I
yeah,
hate to say it like that, but I promise you they don't like the Pac-12 and they barely like the Big 12. So you know it's gonna be a battle. I put it like that.
yeah. Well, hey, it was a quick show today. It really, Georgia, South Carolina. What you can really talk about for real. We've been owning them for years, and yeah, they got one on us back in 2019. But hey, it is what it is. But everybody tuning in, thank y'all for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, y'all already know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this content out with other Atlanta sports fanatics, and hit us up in the comment section. As always, come holler at your hometown sports podcast. Before we sign off, T, you got anything to promote?
Auburn versus Penn State tomorrow, and my whole reaction to my whole reaction to the top 25 and all of that, and then I think that's it. Saturday night, of course. Everybody knows Call on Tyrone late night show. It'll be Saturday night.
Yeah, just every Tuesday. Sorry, every Wednesdays. The Don's favorite. We drop the preview. King, he got his shows on Tuesdays. We about to start doing Braves Mondays. Um, hey, yeah, every day we doing shows, so there's no excuse for you guys not to tune in and support everybody. That's on this platform. So, on that note, come holla at your hometown sports podcast. It's your boy the Don with my co-host Tyrone. Oops, Tyrone. I forget the direction
The
when I'm
camera,
on
yeah.
the screen. Yeah. So, hey, y'all have a great evening. We'll see y'all next time. Hey, go dogs. Let's get it.
Tell them boys playtime's up.